I'm Teresa Carraggio, and this is Third Paradigm. Monday was such a sucky day that I decided to deep clean my laundry room and do my taxes in order to cheer myself up. This did help me unearth certain things, like this fine soap dish holder that goes on a peg in the wall, and this lovely Velveeta box, which says, a delicious cheese food. I think it should say a cheese-ish food. This was not entirely unprompted, since a new washer and dryer is arriving momentarily, and it's the first time in perhaps 100 years that the laundry room has been completely gutted, certainly in the 37 years that I've owned the house. As my handyman was tearing out those 100-year-old cupboards and taking out the washer and the dryer that I had thought was gas, but turns out to be electric, so I changed that in the order, he said, I found the old door. My ex had used it as a platform to prop up the dryer because why would you pay $300 for a pedestal when you've got a perfectly good door around? Am I right, guys? So needless to say to other women, I am ordering a door as a door and would be ordering the $300 pedestal if I wasn't getting the stacked version. When doing my taxes failed to cheer me up for some reason, I decided to read my wholesome astrology March Madness calendar from Isaac Middle. Now, I did Isaac Middle's calendar for my last birthday, and this is what came, which I had my daughter print out. This time I have it on my computer, and I am not going to be doing Isaac justice here because I just love Isaac. Isaac does very perceptive, wholesome, conspiratorial astrology, and that brings in world events. It's also very perceptive in terms of your own empowerment. And he does delightful vignettes between the gods and goddesses in order to introduce them. And they all have a delightful grasp of profanity that I admire. So I really like this, and I will be doing more, but this is indicative of my mood at the time. My summary is that it will be 3 months of emotional conflict and financial entanglement, something that had already contributed to my very sucky day. And then there would be one beautiful day in August with a year of a lot of challenges, followed by 15 plus years in what is traditionally called the House of Bad Fortune. So I'm going to start by explaining why fortune, good or bad, does not fit my theology. And then I'll relate some of the most mundane miracles you have ever heard of involving a sock box and a laundry room door. And then I'll end by going back to astrology. Let's do this. My theology. I define theology as the study of what is. And I think there are two very important questions that starts with. One is, what is my true relationship to you? Are we separate? And mainly, are we equal? Are we born morally equal? Because if we're not, then I'm going to want to believe that we're separate. The last thing that I can imagine is that you and I are actually one, because that would mean that I can't be better than you. So that's the first thing to be looking at. The second big question is there meaning? And meaning is purpose. The question of whether there's meaning is the same as saying, is there a God? God, meaning, purpose are all words for the same thing. So I don't think belief is something we should be doing, because belief is making up your mind about something in advance of the facts or your experience. What we need to be doing is taking away our beliefs, including our belief that the world is what we perceive it to be, and it affects us. We don't affect it. This way of seeing is something that is taught in A Course in Miracles, and that's what I've been studying for 20 years. I actually am wondering whether I feel like I'm ready for the sequel to A Course in Miracles. Not so much the text, but more the workbook. I'm not sure it serves us to be overly humble and always staying in that process of unlearning. And that's really what the workbook is, that it's starting from the very beginning and saying, I don't know anything. At some point, I think you do get to a point where you do perceive. You aren't always undoing. So when my lessons say, I do not know what anything is for, I do not perceive my own best interest, I think that's one of the most important lessons that we can have. Reverend Katie Grace puts that as WTF isn't what the fuck, it's what's this for. So looking at everything that happens and saying, what's this for? And now what I do is I say, I know what that's for. That's for my greatest happiness and the greatest happiness of everyone else. Because I can't know that if I make myself the one who has to make all decisions and who's always worried about making the wrong decisions, then I don't know what really is going to be best, not just for me, but also best for everybody else. But Spirit does. Spirit knows. And so if I'm following in the footsteps of Spirit and always asking, what is it? What do I do here? What is this for? Then I'm going to be accessing that deeper knowledge that isn't just about my happiness, but is absolutely inclusive of my happiness and includes the happiness of everyone else. What A Course in Miracles is a series of daily experiments where you are going through your life, but you're asking a different question. You're looking at things differently. You're looking more at forgiveness of other people and seeing just how things work in your life. So that has given me a different awareness of saying, is this possible that this is just an accident? Or is this something that says, no, there is no way that this could happen by chance? Let's move on to some of the most mundane miracles you will ever hear. For the last 37 years since I've been in this house, I have stored my socks in a drawer. And in that drawer, I put these little plastic boxes because that enables me to be able to keep them organized. But because my ex isn't the only one who's cheap, I only used half a box because it was in a drawer. It didn't matter. The back of the drawer kept them all in. And then I just moved them to my walk-in closet and put them on a shelf. So now when I pull out my slider of socks, it goes like this. And my stunt double tells me that they will not be doing this stunt again or somebody else is going to clean up those socks. So I thought I need to get some more of those little plastic boxes, but I don't go to those kinds of stores where they have them, and I don't want to order it on Amazon. So I've been just living with cascading socks and putting it to the back of my mind. Within less than a week, I went to an armoire that I have and went to this bottom shelf of it. And what did I find? I found the mother lode of little plastic empty boxes that I have no idea, no recollection of how they even got there. I don't think I've touched that drawer in probably 10 years at least. And there it was. What more proof of God do you need? Okay, so you need more proof of God than a magical manifesting sock box. Let's talk about my laundry door. So I went and had the guy who is doing the installation of my windows, and he said, I'll order it for you at cost. So he gives me a bid, and it's a little upwards of $1,000 for this door. And so I think, I'm going to go check out the competition. And so I go to my local hardware store, and I find that the same door is one I can save $400 on. So while I'm debating that, I go and get a prescription for my eyes, and meanwhile find these smoky cat eye glasses that I need. And they are $750. And I say, okay, I was going to spend $300 on these other ones, but I need those. So I get the $750 glasses. And then I go back to the hardware store, and the guy is about to leave on a 3-day seminar in Iowa. And he says, well, I found one in the boneyard that is exactly the one that you're looking for. And so I go look at it, and it is on sale for $300, saving me $750, the exact cost of my smoky cat eye glasses. Come on now. Back to mythology and astrology. I told Isaac that I am doubting the existence of the ancient Roman Empire. As Laurent Guillenot talks about in Anno Domini, that all of these things have been made up. And one of the greatest proofs of that to me is that the Romans usurped the whole mythology and simply changed the names and made them gender ambiguous rather than the fully embodied Greek versions. So as we know, every time you tell a lie, a demon snags your tongue. So I am not going to use those Roman names if I can remember. In the mythology, I think that we are those embodiments. And so as the embodiment of Aphrodite and Luna, I am telling Chiron, grow up. How long, how many millions of millennia are you going to let that wound fester because mommy didn't love you? Just get over it. Stop being that wounded healer. Move into being the radiant healer. That's the role that I see for this 15 plus years. We are going to be the radiant healer. We're going to bring our knowledge, our confidence in miracles, and transform this whole wounded nonsense. Right after my rant on Chiron, my computer mouse froze, so it would move, but it wouldn't click, and I had to restart the whole computer. You just can't make this stuff up. A Course in Miracles is the most disciplined endeavor that I've ever undertaken, other than a brief foray into learning jazz improv and a lifetime of trying to think one step ahead of 3 Machiavellian midgets, as I like to call my daughters. You can join in this time of being the radiant healer without needing to do that. Just start paying attention and saying, is it possible that this is an accident? Or are things just too synchronous to have happened by chance? I think I owe Chiron and Isaac an apology. Of my 3 new appliances, only the dryer is actually installed and working. The plumbing needs to be changed for the washer, and my old range is too heavy to move out, so the new one is sitting in the garage. And for the foreseeable future, I will be still lighting my 20-year-old one with matches. If this is any indication, the coming time is going to be 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And we do have a lot of shit fuckery to go through, and that is the technical term. But we are going to take this time of bad fortune and turn it into a time of crisis and opportunity. That's what I want for us, and that's what we're going to get. The new washer does bode well for the art of productive conflict. Julius Schoolafish once posted a video that he called "A Front-Loading Washing Machine Argues with Teresa Carraggio," and you see someone throw a wrench in one that then spins and it disassembles itself until it's just a motor whimpering on the ground. In this case, my old one sounded like a helicopter was landing in my backyard and had all these exposed wires with big signs that said, "Danger, high voltage." So I think that we can look forward to a year of smoother, cleaner arguments. And if you would like more from the delightful Isaac Middle, here is Luna Plots a Revolution, and this is Cosmology and the Course. Thank you for watching.